people of Reddit, instead of missed hints what hint, did you catch that got you laid? I was playing Halo with a bunch of people in my dorm, and this one otherwise polite girl kept humping my corpse. We're married now. She asserted dominance in Halo and got herself a mate. The bank teller left her number on my cash envelope. I love online banking and mobile check deposit, but they've never gotten me laid. She saw your balance. Chaining up bike at restaurant. Chatty woman said, good for you for biking today. We enter restaurant at the same time and the hostess asks, table for two. Woman turns to me, I don't know, will you be joining me? Smooth af, I should get a bike. A few years ago, I had a girl and a few friends over for a movie. None of my friends came, but she did. I gave her a beer. She asked if I was having one, but I told her that my driving license is on probation. I need to have a blood alcohol level of 0. Even one drink would make me go over, and I wouldn't be able to drive her home afterwards. She grabs a beer, opens it and hands it to me. That's just poetic. I took a friend of mine as a date to a wedding. At some point, I made an off-the-cuff remark about how we should play strip poker. She said, that's not fair. You have more clothes on than me. After I take off my dress, I'd be naked. We didn't stay at the wedding long after that. Then I really hope you suck at poker. My level of cluelessness is legendary, but on a first date before we had even ordered dinner, I did have a girl once say, you can relax by the way, I'm totally sleeping with you tonight. That was a hint I didn't miss, but with my track record, it was touch and go. When I lost my virginity I was really stoned. Me and this girl were hanging out for a while. We started making out. She got completely naked. I was just like, oh, that's cool. It didn't occur to me that we were going to frick until she started fingering herself on my couch and said you should probably take off your boxers. I was one clueless kid. I missed her first hint, but when I asked her when are you leaving and she said I'm leaving with you. Message was received and it was a Tuesday. Good to know. Was hanging out with a girl one afternoon in college when we both started talking about how it had been so long since each of us had fricked. We went to a party that night with an agreement that we wouldn't go home alone no matter what. Halfway through the party, consisting of mostly people we knew pretty well, I ask her if she's found anyone. She says no, and asks me. I say no, and liquid courage compels me to say well how about we go home together? She says sure. 4.5 years later, she's still my girlfriend and I moved to Europe to attend grad school at the same university as her. I'd call that a win. This is like weirdly wholesome sluttiness. First date with a woman off a Cupid. She just asked wanna come over? Pretty straightforward. Some guys have all the luck. When he casually mentioned he had no work in the morning, green light. Morning wood is always the best to chop down. Kudos to you. We were with mutual friends at a hotel and everyone was drinking. About to go to the bar with my buddies when we walk by the pool. Drunk hot chick is in the pool saying somebody come swim with me. Nobody wanted to swim but I thought this might be a sign. Skipped bar, went swimming, had naked water time, smashed. Been married 16 years now. Glad I caught the subtle clue. I want to make a joke about that not being the best place to find marriage material, but for some reason the story is too cute for that. I host a pub trivia night here in town and my current girlfriend was a regular competitor. I saw her out one night at a different bar celebrating a friend's birthday. We recognized each other and chatted a bit. Then she hit me with this. So I've got a trivia question for you, but if you get it wrong you have to buy me a drink. Me, I'll give it a shot. I'm pretty smart. If you're actually smart, you'll get it wrong. To all my fellow trivia nerds wondering what the question was, what US state and respective capital share none of the same letters in their names? The correct answer is Pierre, SD. I legitimately didn't know the answer, so I didn't even have to throw the question. Took me a while to get. Good one girl. Girl was smart. 3 years ago, we were in a bar with some friends and she said let's go somewhere else more fun and then I said I don't know. The last bus to get back home is in 30 minutes and I don't want to pay for a cab and she responded you can sleep at my place after. I got laid and she's still my girlfriend. AWW. I was at her house watching TV. She went to her bedroom and came out wearing a robe and panties. She then asked how much of a hint I needed. A pretty big one, apparently. I'd still fail to take the hint probably. Okay, who am I kidding? This would never happen to me. I emailed to ask my language exchange partner over for dinner and suggested we could work on vocabulary. We can do things in a kitchen. She replied, yes, and things in a living room, and things in a bedroom too. That's like passing the old Fallout speech checks you didn't know existed. Went to a Ren fair. There was a cute girl running a fortune teller booth who offered to tell me her vision of my future. She flipped over my hand, looked me in the eye and said, I see you getting laid tonight. She was correct. A girl at the table asked her friend, why are you so happy? The other girl said, because I'm getting laid tonight. She was talking about me. Amazing wing. Whoa, man. She was telling me how she hadn't fricked in the months. I said, are you trying to change that? And I got laid : Holy frick. I just freaking realized that a girl I met online a few months ago and fricked last week said the exact same thing to me over our late night chats. That was a hint I totally missed. Luckily I picked up the next hint when we met in person, which was you have cute ears, and started rubbing my ears with both hands. I can't say no to that. In high school gym class, it was raining so we were running laps around the gym. Cute girl is running next to me and we are sort of chatting a bit. Her friends run up behind her and begin chanting, girl's name is a virgin. Girl's name is a virgin. She gets mad and yells back, I'm working on it. Even I picked up on that. That's how he lost his job as a gym teacher. She started with, I had a naughty dream about you last night. Was giving her a back rub while we were watching a movie. I went to the kitchen to grab something, maybe a drink, I don't remember, and when I came back she had her top off. I ignored it for a few minutes until she started pushing her chest out towards me. Things escalated pretty fast from there. All this happened after about 3 weeks of missed hints. I'm not the best at picking up on them. Dude, how the frick do you ignore that? My wife's hint, that would be pretty subtle, but she does it so often that it's not anymore at all. We're both laying in bed watching TV and she'll stretch her leg out and set it on mine so we cross ankles. That's it, and I know it's go time. It's actually more of a joke by now. Yeah, that's actually subtle. My wife strips and puts her legs behind her head. Was in a bar on downtown Florence on leave. When I was drinking I noticed these two girls next to me alone. Started chatting them up and noticed they had an Aussie accent. So me being halfway in the bag put on my best Aussie accent and asked, so how is it down under? One of the girls replied, buy me a drink and find out. It was nice. Man, she must have really liked you because this gets hectic eye rolls from most Australians. I mentioned my collection of around 1200 CDs and she, not really into music, said she'd love to come and see it. There was no way in heck she could be interested in my CDs, and she wasn't. The other thing that surprised me that night, lying in bed after the facts, her alarm goes off at 3 AM. She slams it and says, I gotta go. I have to let a wow raid in an hour. She was also one of the brightest people I've ever met, and quite vivacious too. Great girl, wish her the best. My GF. The first time we did it, it was her birthday. I asked her what she wanted, and she said she wanted a foot rub. She said I would have a pretty nice view, and asked what color panties I preferred. My GF is not subtle. None is the color preferred. It wasn't a very subtle hint. Was talking to a gal at a bar. She said, I have a pierced clit. I said, let's go take a look at that. Banged in the parking lot. Oh crap, that's a hint. Freaking A. Well, apparently I missed one. Late night pool party. Most people were nude at this point. Girl swims up to me. Oh crap, there's my ex. Cover me, backs her butt into my crotch and puts my hands over her tee. Lol, if only guys could do the same thing. I was home from college and hanging out on my front porch with a girl I'd just met. She was talking about how it's weird that some people sit around all day and don't even go on walks, let alone exercise, then complain about being out of shape. Then somehow that led her into saying, take us for example, we're both active people in good shape, and we might end up fricking. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what else was said after that, but I took the not so subtle hint, and I took it again when she showed up at my college at around midnight looking for a place to crash. Still trying to figure out whether that makes her socially awesome or socially awkward. She took her shirt off. I picked up on that clue because of the times I'll lay awake having missed the she took her pants off clue a while before that with someone else. Funny thing is, taking her shirt off wasn't a hint. She was wearing a sweater that pulled the shirt up with it by mistake, was embarrassed and hid in the sweater for a moment while taking it off. I thought it was a hint and helped her finish removing both. She thought I was smooth as heck. I thought I was so clued in for finally catching the disrobing hint. When her hint is so subtle even she doesn't catch it. Wanna bang? Guys, it worked. No, I don't wanna bang Shepherd. I asked a girl at the beach if she wanted her picture taken with her friends. She politely refused and I backed off, but I overheard her loud-mouthed friend exclaim, "Ong, he's totally hitting on you, go and get him to take a picture of us." Good thing she said that, because I would have never thought I was in her league otherwise. That's a good friend. I was in a hostel and a bunch of us had just got in from the bar. I said I was going to bed and she said, "Wanna snuggle?" I fricked her on a bathroom sink. Lol, no bed needed. My wife on our very first date as I was trying to get the projector set up so we could watch a movie. Well, if you can't get it working, I guess we will have to entertain ourselves in some other way. Stares blankly, fixes projector. One of my favorite things I have ever heard on a first date. Just because I am inviting you back to my house doesn't mean we will frick. Okay, sure, maybe it didn't inherently mean that, but it is exactly what happened. We also both skipped work the next day and hung out. 11 years later we are both still friends, but never did have a real relationship. I always tell guys I don't frick on the first date. That way they know I'm a liar and a s. She said, "When my daughter falls asleep, I want to suck your dong. Your mother-in-law is way more interesting than mine." She said, "Want to come over and watch this new show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?" I said yes. We didn't watch the show until the next day. We're married now. 3 weeks ago I went on my very first camping trip. I'm a huge city boy, yuppie or whatever, and I'm not outdoorsy at all, but I wanted to say I've gone camping before. For this reason I had zero camping equipment. One girl in our group, she also happens to be the maid of honor for an upcoming wedding in which I am the best man, brought extra camping gear for me. What a sweetheart. Anyways, fast forward to our first night and I had my very own 2-person tent to myself. It was awesome. Around 1 AM she knocks on the tent entrance and tells me to scoot over. She can't sleep because everyone in her tent, 8-person tent, was snoring too loud. That's fine. I'm super grateful for her because otherwise I would be sleeping on the grass and getting bit by bugs. She slides in. I notice she's not wearing any shorts or sweatpants, only an oversized shirt from our alma mater. This was odd to me initially as it was really chilly, but whatever. Maybe this is how she sleeps normally. We talk for a little bit. She asks me how work is going and if I like camping so far. I told her it was pretty cool. It's nice to get away from the city sometimes. She then straight up tells me she's never had fricked in a tent before. We fricked in a tent. She knocks on the tent entrance. I made up the guest bed. Before I turned around I heard her say, "You've got to be freaking kidding me." Right. Turned around. She was completely naked. She was a very nice lady. She came up to me at the dance floor at a party and asked me, "What are you doing later?" "Nothing much." "Why? Wanna do me?" I did. I did good. It was an older woman trying to set me up with her daughter and was going on and on how cute I was. I told her I was more interested in her. Was at her place about an hour later. I went to an Eagles concert for my 19th birthday. My buddy was with me and hitting on this vivacious woman. She was giggling and tried introducing him to her daughter and he plain said not interested and invited her back to our place. It didn't work, but the balls on that guy. Holy crap, haha. Got out of work at the normal time and went to the same bar me and my friends meet up every Friday. Except this Friday none of my friends showed up and it was rather slow for the typical happy hour crowd. I asked the bartender Jamie where everyone is and he pretty much shrugged me off. Random girl at the bar says, "But I'm here." Bartender goes, "There is your new friend." I responded with buying my new friend a drink. Worked like a charm. When they make eye contact and start laughing at my dumb, crappy jokes, game on. I love dumb crappy jokes as an icebreaker. It shows you're not afraid of being outwardly silly or making an butt of yourself. These are good qualities. I told a friend I could solve a Rubik's Cube. She said I would be all over you if you did that. Went round with Rubik's Cube, solved it, got laid, carried on getting laid for a couple of months afterwards as well. TBH, I still think I missed a hint. Could probably have gone round without a cube and just hit on her. Girl came to one of my birthday parties in her own car. When it came time to leave the starting location and go to the bar, she said she wanted to ride with me to give me my present. Roadhead ensued. Why I drove myself. It was convenience. I wasn't a big drinker at the time, so nobody was in danger, except maybe my wang. I hope you drove her car. I had a long-term girlfriend through most of high school, but she broke things off early my freshman year of college. Not long after that, I met up with a female friend from high school whom I had always found attractive, but, due to having a girlfriend, had never really been interested in. We caught up over dinner and then afterwards I suggested we continue hanging out and watch a movie. I had no ulterior motives and hadn't even thought about the possibility of anything happening. But when I said that, she laughed kind of knowingly, and somehow I just knew that she thought I was trying to frick her. But she agreed to my plan. So I figured, if she thinks I'm trying to frick her, and she's going along with it, I may as well try and frick her. So I did. She was into it and we had a good time. Frick? Sorry, Mr. Hint. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.